Good morning, class. Hocus pocus, everybody focus. Good, okay, 6th graders. Did everybody have a good weekend? Good, okay, well now we are here on Monday and let's start it off right. Today we are going to learn the process of collecting and analyzing data. Okay, this is new to everybody, so I've written the steps on the board and they are also going to be on your worksheet that I pass out. Okay, so let's read them together. Number 1, reword the question. Good. Number 2, collect the data. Number 3, represent the data. And number 4, analyze the data. Okay, so let's go to number 1. Reword the question. So we don't even have a question yet, do we? Okay, so let's start with any question that we can ask somebody. What is your favorite color? Good question. Okay, so reword the question. It says that because a lot of questions are not specific. You can have any type of answer, right? So if we say, what is your favorite color? They can say periwinkle, white, maroon. We can go on and on and on. Okay, so how can we make that question more specific? Okay, we could say colors of the rainbow. Good. That would limit it down. How can we limit it down to maybe 3 colors? We could say primary colors, which is good. Or we can even just list them. So we can even say primary colors, which is red, good, blue, and yellow. Good. Okay, so our new question is, what is your favorite primary color? Or we can list them out if people don't know primary colors. So now we need to collect the data. How can we get this data out of people? We can have them raise their hand. Good. Come up to the board and do tallies. Good. Okay, so let's pick 5 people. I need 5 people to stand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Okay, so now I want y'all to raise your hand, and you can only vote once about what your favorite primary color is. Okay? Okay, so who wants red? 2. Who wants blue? 1. And who wants yellow? 2. Good. So now we can check ourselves to make sure everybody voted. Just add these together. And that equals 5. Okay. So that is out of 5 people. Okay, now it says represent the data. Okay, so I'm going to teach y'all 3 ways that we can represent this data today. So this is our data right here. Okay, and so first we are going to learn how to do it with with a bar graph. Okay, so I'm going to write that up here. Okay, so right here is where we're going to write our primary colors. Okay, and this is going to be our numbers, our scale. Okay, so our colors are red, blue, and yellow. So we'll just do R, B, and Y. Okay, so now when we have a graph, we need to have a key. Okay, so we will do our red, which will be red, blue, we'll use blue. Right, and I do not have a yellow, so we are going to use green. Okay, so let's go on a scale. What number should we use? 1's good. Okay, so we went up to 4, even though our highest number is 2, so that is perfectly fine. So red, how many reds do we have? 2. So I'm going to go to the 2, draw a line, and make a rectangle. In red, we're going to use red. Color it in. Okay, blue. What data does our blue say? 1. So we're going to go to the 1, draw a little 2 dots, and go straight down. Okay, and our yellow. 2. Our data says 2. Okay, so this is our bar graph. So now number 4 is analyze our data. So now since we have our graph, we can say, okay, so what 2 colors did people vote for most? And that is our red and our yellow, because we can see our graph that they are even. We can say, which color did people vote the least for? Which would be blue, because we can see that with our data. Alright, so now let's learn a circle graph. Oh, we'll do our circle graph right here. No, you know what? We'll do it over here. Alright, a circle graph sounds just like it is. It's a big old circle, just like a pizza. That's how I like to think of it. Okay, but our circle graph is made of percentages. Okay, and so how do we find a percent? We take the number, so our data, so a 2, divided by however many we have, which in this case would be 2 plus 1 plus 2, which is 5, times 100, because that's what a percent is out of. Good. So we need to do all of that math first. So we'll take red first. Red. So we have 2 divided by however many, which would be 5, we said, times 100. 1 divided by 5 times 100. And 2 again. Okay, so let's get out our calculators just to make sure that we have it right. Okay, so we are going to do 2 divided by 5 equals times 100. So I got 40%. One divided by 5 equals times 100. And we know the same thing, so this is 40. Okay, so now we have those. So I'm just going to erase them and rewrite them. So our red was 40%. Okay, our blue was 20. And our yellow, which I'm going to use black just so we can see it, was 40% too. Alright, so now remember I told y'all we have to draw a circle. And we are going to cut it up just like a pizza. Okay, this is not a very good circle, but that's okay. So, where I start is with fractions that I know of. So I know that you can divide a pizza up into 4, and that is 25% each one. Okay, and I also know that half of this is 50. Okay, so 2 pieces equal 50%. So 40% is very close to 50, right? And half of this, if I only do that, oops, I'm sorry. If I only do that, half of 50 is 25. Half of 25 doesn't go in equal either. Okay, so we need to try and estimate, since we don't have a perfect fraction, 25%, 75%, 50%, where this goes. Okay, so let's start with 25%, which is the fourth, is almost 20. So we need 5% less. Okay, so now we know that is 20. This is 80%. The rest of it, and that is half of our 40. So I'm just going to draw a line in the half. Okay. So I know we will label it now that our blue is our 20%, that red is 40%, and our yellow, which we're using as a green, is 40% as well. So again, you are showing the same data, just with a different table. Do you all see how that works? So I can analyze it again, analyze my data. Which color did people like the least? And we see that this one has the smallest shaded region, so it's our blue. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more graph, okay, which is our picture graph. So this one is fun if you really like to draw and you can show off your artistic ability. So our picture graph. So I'm going to write it right here. Pictograph. So we have our 4, so we're going to write them on this left side. Red, blue, yellow. Okay, so now we need a key of how we're going to represent, because a picture graph is symbols. So we can use anything. Let's do a shape. A heart, good. Okay. So what should we go by? What should our heart represent? 2, okay. Our heart is going to equal 2. So red is 2. So 1 heart equals 2, so we're just going to draw 1 heart. Blue is 1, okay. So our heart equals 2, so what should we do? Cut it in half, good. And our yellow is also 2. So same thing. So now we have represented our data with a picture graph, and now we can analyze our data. Which colors have the most? So the ones with the most heart symbols, which is they're equal. Okay, so things like that. So those are the 3 ways that you can represent your data. Okay. Okay, class. So now we're really going to see if we understand it. Okay, so I'm going to erase all of this. Okay, and now we are going to look at our slideshow, and I have written an example of a question that you may get. Okay, so look at our slideshow. There are 25 students in a class. 9 of them like apples, 8 of them like cherries, and 4 of them like oranges. 3 of them like grapes. Show this data by making a bar graph. What fruit do most students like best? Okay, so now since we have already been giving the question, we're going to reword this question, okay, because we don't need to make it specific. So our question, what fruits do students like most? Now we have to see, okay, so they want all of the fruits. So now collect the data. So they have given us the data. 9 of them like apples. So let's write that down. 9 apples. 8 cherries. 4 oranges. And 3 are grapes. Okay, so step 2 is complete. Represent the data. So it says we need to use a bar graph. So, like I said, we're going to do our X and Y axis. Okay, and so our apples, cherries, oranges, so we'll just do A, C, O, and G. Okay, so now we need to see what we need to go by. So we can go by 2s. Let's do that. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Okay, so now we need to have a key. Okay, so we'll do black will be apples. Blue will be cherries. Red will be oranges. And green will be grapes. Alright, so first let's go through and we will just make it with a rectangle. So 9 is apples. So we're going to go up and say, okay, it's in between. So we'll draw a little dotted line and then connect. Good? Okay. C, cherries is 8. We'll go over to cherries, draw our little dotted line on the 8 and make our 2 lines. Oranges is 4. We go to our 4. And grapes is 3, which is in between our 2 and our 4. So we'll draw a line. Okay, so we know apples is black. Cherries is blue. Oranges is red. Grapes is green. Alright, so now we have represented our data, number 3. So now we have number 4. Analyze the data. Okay, so our question was, what fruits do most students like best? Okay, so now we can go and say, what fruits do students like best? So that is what's the highest amount of both. So we have it on our data, so we see that it's 9. We're going to check with our graph. And apples is the one with the highest. So the fruit that students like the best are apples. There's our answer. Alright, class. Okay, I am passing out our homework today. Okay, and so it is a worksheet. We have 2 problems, okay, that I'm handing you. It has your data on there already, has all of those things, and it tells you that you need to show the data with all 3 of the graphs. So you should have 6 graphs on your homework. Okay, I will see y'all tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day.